Okay, so this is something that bugs me about YouTube. I'm sure it's something to do with an algorithm or something, but I feel like this issue has happened so many times and I don't know how to stop it from continuing to happen. Years ago, I took Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech, and then I took my keyboard and played along to it towards the ending of the speech and just kind of did a free flow composition with it musically. And then I uploaded it because I thought it synced up reasonably well. I mean, I was just yet a child in the world. I don't know how to read music or anything, but I wanted to learn how to compose orchestra music. And so I did this test with my keyboard. But anyway, so I uploaded it, and then people started monetizing it. Like, they said that they wrote it. And I was like, no. Like, I never wanted to monetize it, but I don't want other publishing companies monetizing it, claiming that it's their song. Right now, there's something here from Franco A. Morto, Amsterdam 2017. Like, I started working on the pieces, the musical composition concepts. I started when I was in high school. So my defense is, if you listen to the music I composed back then, and you have a good musical ear, you'll notice that the composition is, first of all, it's in the same ballpark. Second of all, listen to the music. Listen to the instruments, the sound of the piano and other elements. Like one of the elements I really like to use in a weird application was to use, actually, it was a synth sound of like an upright bass, but I would use it in the higher registers, almost like a weird modern harp. Okay, so now let's cut to the MLK video where I'm using the same keyboard. Now, and I didn't just use keyboard in the other things I composed at the time, but I did just use keyboard in this MLK song, and I think if someone's musically aware, that they would be able to understand that that's the same composer.
From every mountainside, let freedom ring, and if America is to be a great nation, this must become true. So let freedom ring.
And I remember, as I was recording at this point, I could feel that where he was pacing his speech there was going to be what you would call the shift towards the climax. So there's a point where right now he's leading it up, he's like setting it up, and he's going to pay it off with his like culminating statement. So what I'm doing here is I'm playing along, I'm just sort of vamping in a sense that, okay, he's going to make that shift, and when that happens, I need to be able to transition then into that, full-bodied version of the motif. But it's just me on my keyboard, so I'm making all sorts of errors along the way as well, and I was like sketching out, here's how this would go.
When we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics.
So Franco he didn't go to high school with me. So Proton LLC, I don't know. Maybe what happens is they detect that there are portions of Martin Luther King's speech, which means other people are claiming a copyright on that, which is just really stupid because it's a speech. It should be public domain. Like, if someone's making money off of MLK's speech, then that's a separate frustration in its own right. But anyway, or I submitted a complaint, and hopefully this time it'll go away. And Franco's probably a very nice individual. Looks like Franco lives in the French Riviera. I've spent some time there myself.
I didn't know exactly where I was gonna go, who I would meet, or if I would even return.
Very lovely, and he's there in Saint-Tropez, but this isn't your composition, and maybe you could just not claim that it is. And maybe you don't know. YouTube, please fix it. Thank you. Okay, for Exhibit B. Now, at the time, in case YouTube still doesn't believe me, at the time, I was working on a video project where I actually did record a cover song of Say It Ain't So. It's a song I've always loved by Weezer. I chose that song in part because I played that song at a pep assembly for my grandma's birthday. But anyway, I chose to do a cover in Say It Ain't So, and I chose to put it in the same key that I recorded the Martin Luther King song in, because it was part of a transition. I was doing a piece on this guy named Harold. Eventually it was turned into a full documentary.
Get out the hood, get out the projects, get away from the negativity. You know what I'm saying? To stay in a nice place like everybody else. So my kids could have somewhere to run around and play. You know what I'm saying? But the situation says no. You understand? You fought for your country, but you're still not worth nothing.
And I didn't work on the documentary, but I got footage from that, and I was again practicing composition skills, and when I also was really heartbroken by what was going on with this guy named Harold. So I recorded a song, and then I put it with the MLK song. So there's no way that this guy could have done that, unless, you know, maybe I'm him from the future, but there's no way that he recorded this song. And I didn't cover that song. I did cover Say It Ain't So though. So I'll show you that video, or portions of that video that shows, and you can see the video's grainy and old, but I was able to find it.
They turned me down, you know what I'm saying? I've been everywhere, you know what I'm saying? And I want everybody to hear my cry, you know what I'm saying? Because this is very real sad right now, you know what I'm saying? Because me and my family's about to sleep in the car, you know what I'm saying? I'm already sleeping in the car, and I know how it feels in the cold nights. It's not pretty. My clothes were stolen from me when I was trying to stay in the shelter with my family. The war is about that you have soldiers out there standing on the front line, waiting to protect you. You know what I'm saying? Waiting to protect Donald Trump, waiting to protect everybody. And you telling me the people we protecting cannot fund anything? Everybody's already looking down on me. I'm black and I'm a man, yo. But I fought for my country, man. My country shouldn't be doing this to me, man. Shit.
So if you hear that at the end, it's doing that, but it's the motif from the MLK song. Then the idea was to tie it all together with other filmic components, with Lord of the Rings, which I was a big fan of, still am a big fan of, and tying together the musical composition. And this certainly wasn't professionally produced, because it was clipping all over the place. I had distorted guitars going on. It was loaded to the max. It's, you know, an engineer's nightmare, really. There's no way that one of these people making claims on YouTube would have approved of that as a master edit. But, you know, I did it because I was somewhat experimental, and I was actually really mad with what was going on with this Harold guy.
Standing on the front line, waiting to protect you. You know what I'm saying? Waiting to protect Donald Trump. Waiting to protect everybody.
Please could I go back to the solstice with this faith? We will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair of stone of hope. grow spiritual. Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
Anyway, it's probably just a misunderstanding. So maybe if you could just stop not doing that YouTube, that'd be helpful. Thank you.
Used to one day return. It was the perfect place to conclude a summer-long journey into the unpredictable. Your face and